May the 4th be with you. And just in time for May the 4th, BioWare had their 7.3 announcement live stream. Details are coming in hot, and we will break them down. That and more on this episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast from newoverlords.com. Our broadcast hashtag today is EPC 466. And with me, coming in hot, is Seema. Hello there, Seema. How's it going?
It is going good, although I'm coming in a little chilly. In fact, I just went and turned the heat up
You can bring
a
her
few
in
minutes
hot,
ago.
or you can bring her in cold.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of the Mandalorian. Um yeah, a friend of mine had not seen the Mandalorian, and I was trying to describe to him the experience, and that's what I told him. That quote.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Yes. Yes. I'm having a good week. I am happy that we have double XP because, as you know, I've been working on. Well, I mean, working is the wrong word. Leveling Rhodey and Mayo,
Oh,
who
right.
is like level 67 now. So, I can knock out those last few levels practically by just logging in and breathing.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. I didn't get a chance to play today, or he probably would already be level 80. Um, but yeah, I had my basically normal week working on Conquest. I I'm at 6 of 7 galactic season targets, but I have one ready to go, but I'm holding it back in case we get into R4 this weekend. We
Right.
didn't do R4 last night tonight in our normal ops team because we had too many people missing. So
Yep.
we called it all together, but we might have a chance to get together on another night during the weekend. So we'll see.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see. Um, we've been having weird weather where I am, a lot of rain, and we've had like a flood warning for 3 days now. So I think that's why it's cold
Yeah.
because there's
It's a
all
damp
clouds and
cold.
no sun. Yeah, it's a damn cold. It is a damn cold. Um, but yeah, so the weather aside, and besides, rainy weather is good weather for staying indoors and reading, watching my stories, playing games. So I can't complain.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of games.
How has your week been going?
Going pretty good. I guess I'm behind on the Galactic Season's objectives. I think maybe I've only completed one or two. One I'll complete in the morning. I actually meant to do it this morning, which I did on Tuesday. I did 5 arena matches, which got me 7 of 8 because I did 5, which got me 9 of 10 because I won 4 and then I lost 1 and then I quit after losing 1, even though I only had 1 more to go. Because I said I was only gonna play like 1 or 2, and then I completed the weekly, and I was like, I could be done, but I won, and then I won again, and then I'm like, well, you know, I'll play till I lose, since this is going well. So I won 4 in a row, and then lost 1. I still find arenas easier to play for whatever reason. I'm really surprised. I used to like war zones better, but as I said, if I get focus targeted, I only have 4 people maximum beating up
Yes.
on me,
Right. Right.
as opposed to some of the in a war zone of 8v8 when I can have 8 people, 6 to 8 people ganging up on me, especially because I'm by myself guarding a door because the rest of the team is off somewhere where they shouldn't be, which for some reason makes me angry. So it's my secret.
Yes.
I'm always angry.
Yes.
So I'm not
Yes.
doing that. But yeah, having a lot of fun. Really like the live stream. We're gonna talk about all about that tonight. Got into that. I was in the chat room live, chatting it up, having fun with that. Got my little posters you can see on the wall here. Continuing to think about decorations, and it was fun to see some of that. We'll show the screens that they showed of new decorations that are coming. Those Voss decorations don't really fit for my mech shack, but I'm glad that more decorations are just coming in general. And we'll see because there's the decorations that they advertised, but they tend to put in a lot of those decorations, especially when they have flashpoints. So don't underestimate, as we talked about, was that last week already? Still, uh, don't underestimate going into the flashpoints, doing a lot of the more recent flashpoints, especially over and over again. It's okay. You'll get a lot of interesting decorations, and you'll be
Mhm.
really surprised at the volume of decorations you get. The coffee cotet uh, flashpoints in particular, tons of really cool decorations. I mean, you hate killing sky troopers over and over and over and over again. But when you get like pieces and parts of them and destroyed ones and smoking ruins of them to hang on your walls as trophies, makes up for it a little bit.
It helps dilute, yeah.
Makes up for it a little bit. But in addition to all of the 7.3 news, which we'll go into in detail, they've been posting additional things in the forum. So if you've not caught up on those, we will talk about those now.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
What's up first, Seema?
So I guess I kinda already gave away the double XP news, so that's gonna be from today until May 18th, so 2 weeks, full 2 weeks of double XP.
2 weeks. Two
And then
weeks. Get your
also,
ass to Mars.
this is to celebrate May the 4th, and
Yes.
also our little green box friends that we have that we're showing.
Yeah.
Um, and like you speculated last week, it is also double valor.
Yes. So if you're looking to increase your valor, you're doing a lot of PvP, people that are in the PvP track, you're trying to get to valor rank 100, which there's an achievement for, then now would be a good week to get in some extra matches. But yeah, so 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Awesome. We also had a post that built on some of the work that Sabir, I believe, who posted it, right? Yeah. Uh, um, Was it Sabir? I don't did he doesn't yeah. Yeah, it was Sabir. He posted as BioWare. Oh no, it says right there, Sabir. He posted some of the clarifications on the class updates that are coming in 7.3. And what we've got there is just a little bit more detail on what's changing. The It all seems relatively straightforward to me. It doesn't seem like all that big a deal. Just a little bit more clarification on some of the rationale, like why are they doing these extra buffs to stealth scan? I think nobody was using stealth scan. It was like completely underutilized, and adding a slow to it maybe would make it more useful in PvP, and some people might make it a more interesting choice. I think it would be interesting to get stealth scan back on the menu because there are some, especially of the 8v8 war zones and even 4v4 that could really benefit from having stealth scan around again. And adding the slow to it is interesting as well. It's just a tough one when it's a trade-off because there's only a couple classes in the game, a couple base classes that have stealth, and so you might only have, you know, one or two or zero, between 0 and 1 or 0 or 2 stealth people in arenas. Um, and then in an arena, it's a little more difficult to place that stealth scan in a place that would be useful and interesting. It's more useful in the 8v8s when you're trying to lock down a node and have some of that. There's also a bunch of discussion in there about sniper and gunslinger and the reestablished range, moving the knockback effect, moving off, and some discussion back and forth about, why are you doing that? And the discussion in the thread around this was relatively fine. There was a bunch of people complaining, as you would expect. You can't touch classes or do anything that involves classes without having people, basically post. And the form letter is blah, 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 developer, you have no idea what you're doing. Please nerf all classes except mine, fill in your class here. And please buff class mine, fill in your class here. And you see that repeated over and over and over in these threads. Why aren't you buffing blah blah blah? Like people are talking about, I don't know, lightning sorks. And they're also talking, there's a few posts in here I got a little bit frustrated over, which were really talking about, hey, if this is a class update, why aren't you you haven't reworked the abilities, you should be reworking all of these abilities from scratch. That's not what this is. This is a balance update. It's small tweaks, very small, to try to bring, balance to the force. It's not, you know, every it's not a complete rework of the class, and you know, no one would be happy with a complete rework of the class because it would be unbalanced for one. For two, while you think you want a rework of the class, and maybe it would be interesting over time, it's going to break a whole bunch of things. It's going to break the way you play, and everybody's going to be frustrated that they're not as overpowered as they wanted to be. And again, please buff my class and nerf every other class. And why aren't you doing that? You're terrible at your job.
One of the things that's always kind of that I've admired about the various developers that we've talked to for behind the games is they are able to read feedback on many different levels. Like the feedback could be many different levels between completely um, hate filled to highly constructive, and still say to themselves, this is great. That person is clearly passionate about my game. I'm so glad. Blah 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 blah. I can't do that. I
Listen
just
here,
get
you
put
little
off.
shit.
Yeah, I just like, yeah, be different. Why can't you be different? But yeah, see, I would make a terrible dev in that respect for sure.
Community manager. Maybe you'd make a great dev. You wouldn't be allowed on the community streams. What what else we got coming? What other changes are happening? What other cheese is being moved? I don't.
So,
Has anybody been complaining about this? We'll see.
well, so there's a effort on Bryant Wood posted to simplify gearing a little bit. And the basic way or the biggest way that he's mentioning is to remove some of the currencies and to simplify the currencies we need. So to that end, there's going to be no more DRMs. What are they called?
Daily
Daily
resource
resource
matrices. Yeah.
matrices. And those were the ones that you got from doing heroics basically, and a few other little things. So what it means is that people who prefer to play in PvP or flashpoints or operations, they don't have to go and do daily or heroic areas just to get DRMs so they can upgrade their gear. So
Yeah.
that's what they're talking about, is simplifying. And they also have increased some of the caps. Some of them they increased the cap, and some of them they just increased the weekly cap. So, for instance, conquest commentations up to 6,000, which was 2,500. And I think this is gonna work together, right? Because, like, I max those out and then I just leave them there because I don't really need to spend them. But now they're a little bit more valuable because their conquest they kind of have daily DRMs rolled into them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do anything to prepare for this. You don't stockpile anything. It's just whatever DRMs you have are going to be turned into conquest
Yep.
commendations, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
One for
And
one.
on one for one, right?
Yeah.
So that's mostly what this
Right.
post was about.
Yeah. So one of those extra currencies going away completely. Good. That is a clear bit of simplification. The only total cap that's going up is for conquest commendations, so up
Yeah.
from 25 to 4,000, and I'm always bumping up against that cap. That's one of the few caps though that I actually don't really care about because you can convert those 200 at a time into tech frags. And then tech
Right.
frags you can convert into millions upon millions of credits by getting OEMs and RPMs and putting them on the GTN. So I would have preferred the other caps to go up as well, but they're not. The weekly cap, how many you can earn in a week, is going up for flashpoints, war zones, and operations, catalysts, and accelerants and stabilizers. Those tokens are going up for how many you can earn in a week. So maybe if you're playing really hard and you're trying to like level up a character and gear them up, you can get more in a week. The total cap though remains where it is.
Right. So you can get more, but you got to spend them.
Right. You got to spend them and spend them quick.
Spend them in the same week. Yeah.
Uh, I get the rationale for that though. From a game design perspective, the
You don't
total
want
cap
people
that
stockpiling these things.
right. the extra currency sitting around that you don't want them to add another tier of gear. 350, 355 gear comes out, so there's a new gear set, and somebody's stockpiled 10,000 OP1 catalysts, and day one that new content comes out, they can just buy all of the gear. That sort of breaks the content cadence. So maybe being able to buy a couple pieces of gear on day one, that's okay. Having a huge balance there would break it. And most MMOs that have some sort of currency kind of work that way. They either work that way, or maybe at the end of expansion they wipe them all completely anyway, or they reset them from time to time, and because you don't want people buying day one, minute one of a new expansion, buying everything. So it makes sense to me. And then just a tiny little post that went up. It was nice of Jackie to put together a current list of the content creators. So that page is up in the dev tracker too. And we were featured prominently. So thank you. Thank you, Jackie. That was nice.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie. And I do like that post in general because it's just part of the whole, you know, slow and steady march towards more and more transparency. Because, yeah, it's like
Yep.
who's in and who's not in is
Yep.
now you can look it up.
Yep. And to be clear, because it comes up from time to time, these are the content creators in the content creator program. Notice the complete lack of anything referring to influencing and influencers. We are the neither influencers or of bio. We're certainly not influencers of BioWare. We are not also not influencers of anyone whatsoever. So
Right. Right.
that kind of conversation is something that we have from time to time. Intisar, I believe Intisar was called out in the stream as well. So
Yeah.
that was kind of fun.
And he posted his translation of the Arabesh on her
Yeah,
sleeve, which was
Jackie had some of that.
yeah,
Going.
established
Here we go.
2011.
This week in Arabesh.
Yes.
Sweet, and that was a pretty sweet sweatshirt. Okay, well, we're gonna get to that in just a second. So let me stop jumping ahead. Guild and community news. What do we got, Shima?
So we continue to have our open fun night on Tuesday nights, which we call MFN, which is very well attended. Got lots of regulars for that. And that is the time when we get together. We oftentimes will do things towards Galactic Seasons targets, but sometimes we do an operation. Sometimes and always, though, we have a pretty good time.
Yes.
And there's a lot of uh, pop culture talk, and we share really witty and clever jokes all the time. They're never dad jokes. Um, so that's MFN. Then on Wednesday nights, Machete and Stash uh, have a group of people who do PvP fun stuff together. And the reason I call it fun stuff is because that is their focus. It's to get together and do PvP as a party, as a group, so that they can have some fun with it. So that you're not alone doing PvP if you want to do PvP. And then on some Friday nights, we also do a flight night, a GSF night, which
Right.
stands for Get Some Fun. We
Yes.
found
And
out
now
recently.
stands for get some fun. Oh, that's
So come on
hilarious.
Friday nights to get some fun, also with Machete and Stask.
And that's a story of one of our ops friends told his spouse, "Hey, I'm gonna go see if some of the guys are gonna go maybe do some GSF," and and she said, "Oh, is it the AIE get some fun night?" He's like, "Nice try, but no, that's not what." But we heard that and we said, "That is awesome." And from now on, GSF means get some fun. And it will mean that forever, which I thought was both charming and hilarious.
Yep.
Okay. Also, we have a little bit of news. In fact, I thought I brought it up. There is a community event going on that's kind of cool and fun. Cal today on tour, who is a friend of the show and has been on this show, is running a galactic championship. I think there are 8 or 10 uh, streamers and players and content creators who are in this this challenge that he's created, and there's like a cash prize associated with it as well.
And a cash prize, and the trailer itself is awesome.
So if you go to Today and Tour on YouTube, you can see the trailer and episode 1, the first set of challenges, uh, is is up. The summary video is up showing some of the streaming that was going on, some of the people that were doing the challenge and involved. Oh, Intisar's in the chat room saying Intisar is in it. So keep an eye on that. There's going to be many rounds of this going on, and it's sort of like set up as a little bit of a game show. And each week somebody gets eliminated, and so it should be pretty interesting. So check that out today in tour. Cal should be fun. He's done a ton of work putting that together. So great job. Shout out to our chat room and the Discord and whatnot. Really appreciate everybody hanging out in there and helping us out and making us seem smart because that's what you guys do. We will catch up with all of you after the show as well. If you would like to join our chat room or come chat with us at all, remember you can do that via twitch.tv/New Overlords on Thursday evenings around 10:30 p.m. Central, sometimes a little bit before, usually a couple minutes after. Or you come chat with us anytime at newoverlords.com/Discord. And now, Seema, now we can talk about what's coming.
Power will be yours if you are willing to burn.
If you are willing to burn. Burn. He said burn. I like that. Yes, more burning is on the way. We are ready to burn. We are willing. I'm willing to burn. Are you willing to burn, Seema?
I am not willing to burn, no.
Well, better get willing. Because the burning's coming whether you like it or not. So
I don't wanna burn.
uh 7.3. 7.3 is on its way. News is coming in hot and heavy. As we said, that live stream was lively. It was good. It was good live stream. Lot of information packed in there, and we'll go through it all. I think I took a couple screenshots of the stream, and we'll page through them right now. And I'm looking over at my stack of screenshots, and it's 47, literally.
I
I don't
totally
have to show
agree with all the
everyone,
people
but
in chat who are saying that Eric doesn't age.
yeah, well, he is. I mean, he said it. It's the haircut is the same, but the gray on the temples is not something he had 10 years ago.
No, but
Um,
it doesn't really.
but yeah, he looks the
It's
same.
still he looks like a high school kid that put some gray in his hair
Yeah,
for his outfit.
but I would say everybody just to kick it off and round it off, and we'll show you in the pictures. I think everybody looked great. It
Yeah,
was
they
like
did.
they were put together. They were smiley. They're doing a good job. And I don't know if they had like some stylists come in, but everybody looked really put together.
I
Uh,
mean, I can't let this go by. It is the soul patch. Since he has the same
yeah,
haircut and the same facial hair,
yeah,
he said maybe as long as I keep the soul patch, I'll stay young.
yes, yes, exactly. But yeah, he has not changed. Jackie's got that sweatshirt on, so it was kicked off by Eric and Jackie. Jackie's the one who does a lot of the heavy lifting to put these streams together to get some of the guests on. We saw a couple new faces this time. We'll go talk about them in just a second, but really great job she did on us a bunch of awesome work. And I know there's like other people behind the scenes as well, helping put it together. But I know she does a lot of the heavy lifting. So I'd always want to say thank you, Jackie, for doing that work. And they're hitting on all cylinders, just making these dev streams work, I think. I think the communication on what they're talking about, the cadence, and the quality of the actual dev stream itself is such that they have not missed in a while. And it's really great to see. They're pros, they're professionals. Any other overarching comments, Seema, before we drill in?
No, no, no. I agree with what you just said, though.
Yeah.
It's all part of that. I called it earlier the transparency, but it's also the the organization and how they're going forward in predictable chunks. And this live stream business putting it together is part of that.
Yes. The
So
live
I
stream is
expect to
good.
see more of them. Yeah.
Right. The live stream is good from a communication cadence perspective and transparency. And then as we see what we're seeing in the live stream, what they announced, you can definitely feel that cadence. The cadence ticking like this, Marissa Tomei. So yeah, they're doing a really, really good job of that. All right. So the overview that they gave to us was this old wounds storyline and characters. They talk about what's going on. It's a very Voss focused, so we'll get to see some of the Voss. They did talk about the PvP updates, the economic balance changes, sneak peek of some cartel market item stuff. Narshada Nightlife was re-announced. I had to double check. I thought it was still going on. So I typed that in the chat room. I
Yeah,
typed
that
that
never
in
gets
the
old.
Twitch chat room, and I don't think anybody got it. Zen was in the chat room. I think he mentioned something about it. And then community updates. I don't know what that was, but we'll get through it all. This you saw in my stronghold. So we already got this, which is the Sahar Katin Stronghold Deco. It's poster : Sahar if you're looking for it in your decos, which I couldn't find earlier. This is what it looks like on the wall behind me here in my stronghold. Very cool. It's a really good poster. You know, it's got a good frame. It's emissive. It glows. Yeah. I'm usually not a big one for posters, but this is really good. All their posters though are really good, especially if you turn on Bloom.
I love
Pro
the
tip:
posters.
turn on Bloom. Don't have Bloom off for 8 years. That is my new pro tip. But if you're looking for the code to type that in, it's LOTS Sahar, LOTSSAHAR. Caps, smalls don't matter, but it does need to be those 9 letters,
Right.
LOTSSAHAR. You type that in on your account page, or you can go straight to SWTOR.com/redeem-code. You do have to log in regardless, though, to enter a code. Redeem it before May 18th because it is going away. It is going offline by May 18th. And you get a stack of these posters that you can put in your stronghold. I think maybe you can get like 10 of them. You could have 10 Sahars around the room if you want, because why wouldn't you? I love this background picture that they put in a couple places of it's a still frame out of the trailer for the 7.0 content with Sahar doing that smirk over her shoulder after she leaps out of the way and Malgus misses her with his lightning. It's such a good little smile and smirk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it the first time I saw this, and it made me want to meet her and know more about her. I have not seen that version of Sahar yet in the game, and I really hope that version of Sahar,
Right.
the
We've
snarky,
seen
interesting.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen more of the what do I do version.
Yes. Yeah, confused, lost. Yeah. Which, there's a story there. But I want that Sahar. That Sahar seems interesting to me. So then we got Ashley and Caitlin up. They were having a good time, but they were so smiley and happy. And again, on point with the hair. Both of them, they're like, that's what I'm saying. Did they get their hair done or whatever? I mean, look at Caitlin's hair. It's like, that's a do of some kind. Somebody that was like professionally done. It had to be. I don't know what the deal was with that, but they were having a good time and a really good breakdown of the story content. So I am glad to hear that we're getting back to hear a little bit more about everything that was started around Darth Malgus. Now, Darth Malgus is still in prison, and it sounds like he's still going to be in prison after 7.3. But we're going to get to go back and talk to Darth Malgus, and we're going to get to understand more around what the whole deal is. So our allies have been out there on the road again, doing a little road trip. We'll mention a couple of them in just a second. They've discovered some things. Some of the characters are coming in and out to describe some of this to us. And we're going to, and I think I have a screenshot in here. We're gonna see a little bit more of Malgus and maybe get to have a little chat again. They did show this little in-game cinematic of Tawadar and what's his name, snarky Sith
Darth Rivix.
Rivix and Adair who cross sabers at some point for whatever reason. Uh, Rivix Rivix was like messing around with one of the artifacts. Tawadar got a little upset about that, and Tawadar was just like gets pretty. It's a little aggressive.
I was surprised it went right to lightsabers.
Yeah, and uh, but whatever. I expect that this is the point where your character is going to walk in on them and say, hey, break it up there." That I
Well,
don't
I
think.
think I mean, we might know more about why she's hair trigger too.
Did Tao's blade change color during the scene or from previous bits of content? I am not sure either one. I do have the video that we could go to, but I will leave that to you to let us know if her
I like too how they were
lightsaber is
saying,
evolving.
who will win? Well, Tao's got height, but Rivix is
Sneaky,
sly and scrappy.
sneaky, got to be sneaky, sneaky, Charlie.
Also, he has fake charm powers.
Yes, he has charisma.
The power is not fake. The charm is fake.
Yes, he is charismatic evil. Yeah.
Well, he's charismatic for his own ends.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's evil yet.
Well, I mean, he's Sith. I think.
Well, he's a representative of the Empire.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and his lightsaber's red, so I think it's very clear that he's evil.
Well played.
That's how things work
Fair
in
enough.
Star Wars. Red lightsaber equals evil. So we did get this screenshot of being able to, and they did mention, ooh, we're gonna go maybe have a little more chatty chat time with Darth Malgus. He's still locked up in jail, in prison. It's like
I predict that Darth Malgus is going to say, everything is already in motion. You can't stop it anyway.
Power will be yours
Is he gonna say this? Yeah.
if you are willing to burn.
Yeah. Malgus, you already told me that. No, you have to be willing to burn. I know. Okay, I'm willing to burn. But are you willing to burn? Yeah. I'm willing to burn. Everything is in motion. I know. But what? What's in motion? You can't stop it. Fine. Whatever. I gotta go. Are you willing to burn? That's what I was gonna do. Burn. Wait. I have one more thing to tell you.
Oh my god.
I have one more thing. It's all in motion. You can't stop it. You have to be willing to burn. That's how it's gonna go.
It's like you wrote it.
Do you know why it's in motion? Because I'm Darth Malgus.
Everything's in motion.
Yes. The past, the future, in motion it is. Malgus I am. So Malgus was mentioned. Hopefully he'll say something else besides you can't stop it. It's in motion. It's going to burn. They also mentioned Shea Vizsla because that's still going on. It didn't sound like there was going to be a big thing happening, but we might hear a little bit about it because
she's still reeling.
Right.
Is what they said.
Still
recovering.
Yeah. So she's still recovering. And what's her name?
Hedda
Cole, who's got a nice poster too. When I was looking through my posters to find the Sahar poster, there's we got a Hedda Cole poster, and it's similar to the Sahar one. It's like big and glowy and cool. So Hedda Cole is out there as well. So remember, she escaped. She got defeated, but she escaped. So that's not resolved. That's still going on as well. That's interesting. I don't think we'll get too much of it, but it's got to get resolved at some point. The part that I was interested to hear about because we had questions. This was a big question mark in our journal, in my personal journal that I write in every night about my thoughts on SWTOR.
Is it a bullet journal? Do you
Dear
have all different colors
dear
of
diary,
pens?
what
Make little
happened to Santa
drawings?
Ray and Arkin? Are they are they okay?
Are they ever coming
Are they
back?
ever coming back? Are they dating? We don't know.
Does your diary answer you?
Uh, yes, it says, "You can't stop it, it's emotion." And I say, "Stop saying that, or I am willing to burn you, diary. I will burn you up." But yeah, so Ray and Arkin, I don't think we found out exactly where they went, but they went off to investigate something. And
Yeah,
they kind of just said, "Oh yeah, we're going to go investigate this thing in this place," and we didn't hear what that where they went and
right. That's right.
so hopefully we will, and maybe it'll be someplace interesting. Now, for some of you, Arkin doesn't exist, so it's not Arkin. Sonoray, I think, exists for everybody, and then they also mentioned Torian. So Torian's got his own side story because Clan Kadera was part of Hetakol's big thing. You know, they were the dissolved clan, and she burned the banner to say that, you know, this wipe the slate clean. And Torian is conflicted over that. They alluded to that, so maybe we'll hear a little bit more from Torian. If Torian Kadera exists for you, he does not exist for me. More like Torian Cadaver, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they made it sound like it was gonna be sort of an introspective moment for Torian as he considers what it actually means to be a Mandalorian.
Torian Cadaver. Did you get that? Did you hear that
I
one?
did get that.
Yeah,
You mean
Torian Cadaver. You said, I think you said in Guild and Community News that there's no dad jokes on Tuesday nights. I'd say that, wouldn't say that's 100% true.
it's not even 1% true.
uh, And then they also mentioned Interpreter's Retreat. So they mentioned Voss. So a lot of the story stuff is all going to be happening on Voss. And what they're doing is they're adding a new area to Voss. They're adding a new landing zone. And for this, I should bring up the video as we're talking about it. I'll play the clip because the clip, which I don't even have the full res version of the clip. Maybe I should get the full res version. I'll get the full res version off of YouTube while we're talking. But uh, the whole zone is it's going to be a new zone on Voss, a new area on Voss. So what they're doing is making it a new when you go on the galaxy map and you're traveling to Voss, it's going to be a new landing area. So that's how they described it. And we have seen these elsewhere, haven't we, Seema? So you talk about that while I
Okay. Oh, you're referring to so, like, I think it's gonna be a discrete area on Voss, something like how on Manon, the new stuff in Manon was a discrete area, s the same way that Black Hole is a discrete area on, Belsavis. You can shuttle between, the Belsavis ones and on, um no, the Black Holes on Corellia in Section X is on Belsavis.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you can shuttle back and forth between them and the main planet. I don't know if that's gonna be true for this Voss thing, though. You might have to go back out into, like,
Wait, you can shuttle to Section X from no, you can't get to Section X without
yep,
uh
there's a shuttle.
huh. How do you from Corellia?
No, Section X, no, from Belsavis.
Belsavis Section X. Where's the? Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like,
You just go click on the shuttle door.
yeah, like this. It's kind of the same shuttle door. That's,
But Manon, you have to, like, go back out into space and come back down.
yeah. Maybe
I
there's
guess
not just
maybe
like a
that's what you're
landing.
doing when you shuttle too, I don't know, but
Oh, here it is.
yeah.
I found it. All right. Thank you, Seema, for one thing that it looked like
Yeah,
to
they
me.
are available from the galaxy map, right, but
Yeah,
Section X and Black Hole you can shuttle to from
because
the
when you
planet.
and it's probably that's probably how it'll work for Voss too. When you land on Voss from the orbital station, there's a shuttle there, and when you click on the door of that shuttle, it says, "Do you want to return to the orbital station? Do you want to return to your class ship?"
Yeah.
Then there'll probably be another option that says, "Do you want to return to the what did they call this? The uh,
I
landing
don't.
zone. The new landing zone,
Yeah,
which is
landing
called
zone.
Interpreter's Retreat. Interpreter's Retreat. But this is the video. So I finally found it. And it looks to me like this is new graphics, new assets,
Hmm.
it's got the runic treatment. The trees in particular is what gave it away to me. And the quality of their stream on Twitch as they were streaming this was
Really
super,
high.
super good.
Yeah.
It looked
Yeah.
great. Uh, so I'm thinking that this all, they're reusing some assets, obviously, but this looks like a lot of the stuff, especially the trees and the foliage and the rocks and stuff, looks like it's all been updated. So I'm interested to get in there and try it out, which we should be able to soon. I did get a patch on the PTS, but the PTS is not up and running. Look, like even when you're zooming in, there's a lot of detail in those tree renders that we haven't seen
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That's some updated uh, game engine type of stuff to make the trees look like that when you're up close. So yeah, I'm excited for that, uh, and we should
I
be able to see it
wish
pretty
they
soon. Hopefully, even potentially by tomorrow,
I wish they would
or
make
early next week.
use of existing planets more. And this is and isn't that, right? Because they clearly had to have a development to get this.
Right.
But um
Now, to
yeah.
to be clear, this landing zone is like a landing zone where you're getting some missions and achievements. It's not a whole daily area, so it's not
Right.
like as big as Runic by any means, and they're very clear about that. So if you think of like what Manan was the first time around,
But
Manan,
they
is
did make a point that there's going to be things there that are like replayable. So I'm not sure.
yeah. Well, even Manan the first time around, there's like there's the places where you go and the entrances to the story elements. There's the entrance to the flashpoints. Flashpoint. There's only one Manon. Yeah, there's only one Manon flashpoint. So there's not a lot there, but there is stuff there. Um, so Quinn is asking in the chat room a mini daily era. I don't think there's going to be any dailies, so I don't think it's that. And it didn't sound as well. It didn't sound like a reputation associated with it. No, I don't think like CZ198. I don't. Not no dailies. I don't think there's going to be any dailies. So I think there's going to be story and the entrance to the flashpoint. I think that's what's the focus there. So it'll be like a little landing area where you get to go experience those things and you get to come in and out and a place to walk into the flashpoint, but not missions and dailies from what it sounded like. The Shrine Restoration Initiative also introduces a couple new characters. So Kodam is a Gormak. The Gormak and the Voss are two sides of the same coin. If you are familiar with the lore and you went through that in your class story, they're related species or part of or branches of the same species, something like that. Uh, that is something to keep an eye on. And I think we're going to be able to see them potentially coming closer together and working together.
It's been
Kodam
a
is
long time
one.
since I've played the planet story on Voss, but I thought that at the end of the planet story, the Voss and the Gormak came to some understanding of each other
Yeah.
and were setting aside.
Yeah, you're right. I think so.
And they're saying like for this part of the story, they're still warring, but they had to put their adversarial nature aside because they had to recover from Valen's attacks.
Hmm.
They had to fight off her, so they had to unite to do that. But now that's kind of falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So I don't know exactly how it left it in the class story. I think of the class story, it started down the path, and I think that it disrupted a whole bunch of stuff because I think it caused the boss to have to come to terms with what their understanding was of their relationship with the Gormak. I don't think it like brought peace necessarily completely. Um, oh, and Machete saying it might have also been dependent on how your story choices shook out.
Not peace necessarily, but a sort, because like the Voss were pretty convinced that the Gormak were just bad.
Right. Right. Yep. Right. Right. So I think it made had the I think both of the sides ended up having to do a little soul searching and reassessing, and
Right. Well, the Gormax, they were just like trying to find a way off planet.
yeah, but also killing people. There's that. So Mason Jar, he's also he's the Voss representative that we're gonna get to see.
Not Mason Jar. It is Maton Jaw, though. They did
So
say Maton, I think. Or did they say
Komodo
Matin?
Dragon, Gormak, and Mason Jar, the Voss. That is who we have. Then they showed, as I mentioned, some pretty cool decos, and I would expect these kinds of decos to be dropping from the flashpoints and available maybe from some of the missions and the story elements as well. Probably a lot from the flashpoint. I like the hanging lanterns. I do want more. I like really bright lights. I would like
Yeah.
even brighter lights than these. These don't look very bright. They look cool, but they don't look very bright. I want some really bright lights. I've got a couple bright lights in my mech shack. Am I still logged in? I am. But they're because it's a 2-story room. They're up a little higher. But these lights here, these strip lights, I don't have as many of them as I would like. But they're pretty bright and they light up the place a little bit more. So I like that. And I wish I had more of those kinds of things like on the walls. I would light the whole place up because I look good and I want to see.
I don't know why, but I did not see that one coming.
Because the gun show, gotta be able to see the guns if we're gonna have the gun show. So yeah, there's those, and then this kind of thing I really like too is fire, so that's pretty cool. There's the little fire bowl that you'll be able to put around. The Shrine of Lights is a bigger thing got little like lit up candles and burning burners, and then also very interesting, and I'm really interested to see what kind of slot, what anchor, what hook
Yeah, I am too.
size it will fit on, but the quote unquote giant tree. That's so cool. So if that's
Right,
the new
exactly.
tree, if that's like the new
How
res,
giant is giant? Yeah.
how giant is giant, and how high res is the tree?
Mm-hmm.
I'm super interested to see that, and that seems really cool to me. So cool. And then they showed a ton, I think, 15 different armor sets that are coming. 15, yeah. Some of them I don't like. Some of them I do like. Like the one on the left of this, that Voss Mysticky one, that looks pretty cool. I think that would be good. Some parts of it. A couple of these parts of the armor, the trooper style armor, I think look okay and might be good mixed in with other things. Like I don't like the helmet that looks like a bicycle helmet, but I like some of the markings on the chest plates. The one in the middle here, this stealthy masked hooded figure, I really liked. I thought that was cool. And then a couple of these I did not like the headpieces in particular. Like
Right. Yeah.
what's the pizza box habit?
I don't know, but
Non-habit.
that is actually, I mean, that's an OG hat. That model was in
Yeah.
SWTOR Day 1. Yeah.
And then these
Right.
things too. They're with the pointy
Yeah.
hat, and then
Right.
the one on the right, second from the right, that's an OG
Right.
Sith orange slice on your head, watermelon slice sitting on your head.
I mean, I know I'm jumping ahead, but when they showed the picture of the PvP set and it
Oh,
has
that's
like
different. Yeah.
baggy pants, now all I want is baggy pants. I don't want these leotard pants.
So right. Good point. These are all painted on pants. That armor set for PvP. I'm not gonna get it because I'm not gonna put
No,
myself through the
me
PvP
either.
season, but those are so good. And they are already showing us what's gonna be in the next PvP season. We'll get to that in a second. And then to round it out from a content perspective, and I thought that was interesting. It's gonna be related to the story, but not required for the story, so there must be a bunch of other story stuff going on in that story area. But the Shrine of Silence flashpoint. So apparently the words of the mystics are written on the ruined walls within the Shrine of Silence. Um, Hello, darkness, my old friend. So Shrine of Silence is going to be the new flashpoint. It is a Voss flashpoint. Repeatable group and solo content, story veteran, master modes, related to the story but not required for story missions. 2 Voss mystics have gone missing, and many believe the shrine is cursed. Cursed, I tell you.
Right. So like
Guys.
it's more that they okay, it's more than they've just gone missing. They were the two Voss mystics, the plucky Voss mystics that decided to go and check it out because all the other Voss mystics were like, "No, it's cursed. We're not going in there." So now we have to go in and save them.
Hmm. Can
Uh,
do.
Yeah, exactly. I feel good about it. I think we can do it.
Yeah. And then as I said, look at these guys. Having such a good time. They're on point. They knew what they were talking about. They did a good. Oh, she got an Ewok shirt on. I didn't
Yeah,
even
she
notice that.
does.
Um, they were so happy and fun. That was very cool. Uh, and then we got Dan Safradi. I know another guy named Dan, same exact spelling, but he pronounces the last name in more Americanized. It's a Sepharadi, is how he pronounces it. So I
Mm.
was interested to hear Dan pronounce his name, and he said he pronounces it more like Sepharadi. But so Dan Safradi is an encounter designer and showed off one of the encounters with some new telegraphs and some new boss mechanics. Nothing super revolutionary, but it's cool that they're continuing to add some of these kinds of things. And I've seen this in other games, the kind of the donut style telegraph, which
Mhm.
is you can't be in melee range, but you also can't be greater than 15 meters out. Everybody's gonna have to like come together in that donut area for different kinds of effects. That kind of the game that had the wildest, appropriately named, the
Wildstar.
wildest. Yeah, WildStar had the wildest telegraphs. They would they would like be these weird, just every fight was like different patterns all over the ground, and I mean like this. There would be patterns like the Imperial logo. You'd have to like put yourself in different spots. Um,
Wildstar was an interesting game.
it was. Yeah, and they decided that what they try to do 40-man vet mode content was a good idea, and it was not at the time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Nobody
they
could.
tried to do the thing that Elden Ring successfully did, which is to make it difficult.
Right,
But it didn't work for Wildstar apparently.
right, and it didn't work as an MMO where you not only. I mean, it works for Elden Ring when you go in there yourself and you try over and over and over again, and you fight and fight and fight until you learn all of the muscle memory. Having to have 40
Yeah,
people all do that together all at once,
it's a different, yeah, it's
it would
very
take
different.
5 years to get through an Elden Ring fight if 40 people had to do it
Plus,
together.
yeah, plus, when you're doing it yourself and trying over and over again and getting frustrated and swearing all that stuff, it's just part of it. But when you're in a group of people and getting frustrated and swearing, it gets magnified.
Yes. Yes, it does. And then we got to hear from a new voice, not a new person at BioWare. Victoria's been around for a while. But Victoria McCreary, who's an encounter designer, she was very cool. It was fun. It was fun to hear from her. Again, getting some of these new faces. Jackie has done a great job pulling more people in. We saw new people on the stream, heard from new people. Victoria came in a little bit and talked about some of the encounter design and some work on. I didn't catch all of this. Did you catch the detail on this? Is this going to be in the game?
Yeah, it's the final boss from the Flashpoint,
Okay. It is.
but
Okay.
it's a work in progress. Yeah,
Okay, so they're still finishing up,
yeah.
which is cool. Which is cool. I'm psyched to see it in rendered in the game. there is in the High Republic, one of the threats to the galaxy is the Drengir, I believe they're called.
Yeah, the
Very gives
plant monsters.
Yeah, it gives me that Drengir vibe, to a great degree, but it may not be plant-based. She was talking more like Cthulhu and tentacles and
Right.
things like that,
Yeah.
but I think it'd be cool if it
Spirit
was
world.
Drengir, almost like a proto Drengir, and sort of a precursor, and tie into some of that stuff we're hearing about in the New Republic or the High Republic. That would be cool. Created by a Sith experiment. Those Sith experimentations, they gotta quit that. Nothing good. Nothing good comes from that. Nairot. Wonderful Nairot. Uh, Too many Sith experiments gone bad.
Well, I mean, I think that guy would say his experiment went very well.
Taps into the spirit world and corrupts its victims. The head, the face also gives me a little bit of Stranger Things,
Mm.
Demogorgon vibe to
Mhm.
it as well.
Mhm.
This is cool. This is cool. There's Jackie. Jackie's doing the hand motion of what she likes, which is the claw hands. That's what she's doing because he's got those sort of like the
Yeah.
scythe dagger hands. Uh, then we got, which I thought also was very cool and really cool to see him on stream, was Sabir. So Eric came back on and brought Sabir Dillon, who we've seen some posts from in the forums even lately,
Yes. Yes.
about some of what's going on with PvP changes in general. And then Sabir also has the posts out there about some of the class balance that we've seen, which is mostly done around PvP, but has PvE implications, but it's mostly for PvP balance with the way those class tweaks are going on. But Sabir seems super cool. I
Yeah.
liked him. I want to hear more from him. Everybody just seems so great who who works there. So that's super fun. I was very happy to see this of what's coming in 7.3, the continued updates to PvP to make the stuff around medals in particular for war zones work better. I'm happy with the state of medals for arenas. If you lose, maybe you get a couple medals. If you win, you get plenty of medals in arenas. In war zones, the only war zone that they updated completely was Alderaan, and now they're also adding to that Void Star, Novari Coast, and Hutball. And what they're doing is increasing attacker points, defender points, and objective what you get credit for objectives. Because remember, in a war zone, the way it works now is you no longer get any points for, you get like 1 point for one healing medal and 1 DPS medal, and then everything else has to be objective based. So this is interesting to me, and a change which is drastically needed to make that work, especially with the current PvP season, because there's always an objective to get 7 medals in X number of matches. I forgot exactly how many matches you have to do it in. What is it? Bring it up here. 7 medals in some number, like 8 matches or something, and it gets really frustrating in war zones. That's not the right button. That's me resting. So let's see. PvP season, objectives, Warzone, decorated. So earn at least 7 medals for only 4 matches, I guess. It's not that bad. But 7 medals in 4 war zones, or in at least 7. Now you can win a hot ball and still have 90% of the people. In fact, I've seen a hot ball match where uh, like one person got 7 medals or more out of 16. Because if it goes really quick and you only have 1 or 2 people scoring, the people that score will get medals for that. But if people aren't like killing the ball handlers enough and aren't carrying the ball enough and aren't throwing the ball enough, and the match ends quickly, nobody might get medals. And if you lose, you're certainly not getting any medals. So that can be really frustrating when you lose a couple war zones. You're trying to get those medals, and even if it's not that many, even if you only have to do 4 war zones, it just seems frustrating to feel like it doesn't count, even though it doesn't matter because you're going to be playing 8 matches anyway to get through that weekly. So yeah, they still have a couple more to go after they finish these war zones, but this is good progress. Chat room is saying, why not get some fun? Why not some GSF updates? Yeah, I don't think. Uh, oh, good point. So they did talk about the new PvP season, and there was no mention of GSF. So I do not think GSF is going to be in PvP season 3. I
But
think
we
we,
predicted that too because this new season had to have been designed quite a while ago.
yeah. Well, we predicted that for season 2 because season 2
Oh,
during season 1 we were saying we wanted GSF, and season 2 was already baked by
oh,
when season
they
1
all
was
run
going on.
together in my mind.
But now,
Can I just say though, it just seems like a really good solution for the people who just want to kill people to make it count more if they do it near an objective.
yes. Oh, it's the right move.
I'm
It's
not arguing with you. I'm just saying it just seems very clearly. I feel like something that when they said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that seems fairly obvious.
it
But
is it is great.
but
No,
it's still
you're
kind
right.
of elegant. Yeah,
It what you get medals for, I think is spot on. I just think you need to get more
yeah.
for and have
Oh yeah, I
again
wasn't
have them all
addressing
be
that at all. Yeah,
objective based. But especially like if you win a match, you should and you participated a lot and it was a full match and everybody was like working hard. Um, the winning team at least everybody should get 7 medals or more
I
or
I'm only
whatever.
familiar with I'm with the sort of friction there always is in war zones or in other games where they're between the people who want to do the objectives and the people who just want to farm kills.
Mhm.
This seems like a way of them sort of
Yeah,
not working together, but standing next to each other, so it works out that way.
right, right. Farming kills in war zones gets you nothing these days because if you don't win, if it's not helping you win, it's not doing anything. It gets you no medals. So Intisar in the chat room does say he wonders if spawn camping on Hutball will become a thing because one of the changes is there's more points and more objectives around defeating the ball carrier and defeating players near end zones. I
Is that where the spawn point is?
the spawn points are at the end zones. However, the way they
Ooh.
described it, and I think we should go back and listen again, it sounded like defeating enemy players in your end zone, not defeating them in their end zone where they spawn. So I don't think
Oh,
spawn
okay.
camping is going to do a thing for you. I think what it was Sabir said was if like a ball carrier is in your end zone about to score and you kill them there, extra bonus points for you, which is great because it does feel really good if you like you did that final block at the end. And then the other thing that this will potentially incent, which dovetails with the class changes that we were talking about, the stealth scan, you do get stealthers that hide out in the end zones, which is a good strategy and perfectly fine. But they hide out in the end zone so that their team can pass to them in the enemy end zone. You'll have a stealther there. And what you'll have is your team spawns and they know there's a stealther there because somebody just got the pass, was stealthed in the and revealed themselves, got the pass, scored, and stealthed again, and people spawn and they just run away. They just run to the middle of the map. Use your stealth scan. My Sork just drops lightning storms all over the place. If I know somebody's there, I'm going to track them down and kick them out. And plus, if I'm getting extra points for killing them in the end zone, double bonus. Then I'm certainly going to be tracking down those stealthers and getting them out, clearing out our end zone. That's what you do. But yeah, so I thought it was interesting that they said already and announced that July 18th, and this is where we're talking about, clockwork ticking like this. PvP season, July 18th is when season 3 will start and will run for 12 weeks. Never have we seen an announcement this far ahead of time, and never have we seen the rewards already announced. Sandstorm Soldier Armor Set. Here are the pictures of it. Again, it's another evolution. It's so that it's sort of like a series, season 1, season 2, season 3, an evolution of the PvP armor set. And you're right, Seema. The
Those
baggy
are cool
pants,
pants.
the
Yep.
this it's so cool. It's like an Eastern style. It's like a samurai inspired. It is great stuff. The current season and season 3. I mean, season 1 I was okay with. Season 2 and season 3 both I think are amazing. Some of the best armor sets they've done. If I don't finish, there's 2 versions in season 2 and season 3. If I don't, which I may not again because I'm holding myself back for mental health to keep myself from being angry. If I do
You're
not,
not willing to burn. I knew it.
well, I will burn. I will burn. Yeah, uh, burn it. I'll burn. I'll burn this place to the ground. I believe I was told that there would be an armor set. So there's 2
You
armor
didn't get
sets.
any cake.
There's the Shadow Hand armor set, and then there's the Shade Veil. The Shade Veil starts at level 18 is when you start getting the Shade Veil pieces. So up to level 16. So there's 25 levels in the PvP season. The Shade Veil is cooler, but it's the same as the Shadow Hand. It's just got glowy parts, glowy bits on it as well. I may buy myself up to 16 if I don't finish up to 16. I'm at level 8 right now in PvP. Um, I
Oh,
may
I
get
forgot you could buy.
I may buy myself up to 16 just so I can have the Shadow Hand set.
Mm.
And then maybe I'll do that next round as well.
There are also white gray versions from the vendor on the fleet.
Yeah, the vendor though takes the PvP tokens, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And those PvP tokens are super valuable. I would much rather save up like 3 years worth of tokens and get the weapons, the burning on fire weapons
Yeah. The on fire one. En fuego.
and fuego. Well, because my weapons are willing to burn. Yeah. So clockwork, PvP season, PvP season, PvP season. Here's your armor set. They seem to be. Well, I mean, we'll see if by season 5 by the end of the year, or season 4, or season 5 if it continues. They could break down in the future, but they seem to be doing what they said, and they said what they're going to do, and they did what they said. One more shout out at the end. They mentioned the Lots Sahar. I think the chat room even asked again. The code for the poster, the giveaway before May 18th is LOTSSAHAR. Enter that code. We also heard from Joe Stramaglia. So Joe, it was a recording because Joe wasn't there in the office, but Joe recorded and talked a little bit more about a next step to the credit economy initiative. Again, this is economy changes, and there seems to always be confusion when this comes up, and I saw it in the chat room again. Hey, why aren't you getting rid of people's billions of credits? It's not about that. It's about balancing the economy of inflow and outflow of credits. We did multiple podcast episodes talking about it. They are continuing to make some of those changes. So what they did so far was things like the travel costs, the repair costs, all of that was tweaked a little bit. Joe talked a little bit about what's coming next. They're increasing taxes. They will be making taxes on COD and secure trade. So you can't just trade. Zen in the chat room says delete Max's credits. Zen also said that in the Twitch stream
Yes,
to
he did.
BioWare, which I did not appreciate. And that's not what this is about. That's not part of the initiative. Do not delete Max's credits. But yeah, so
I actually had to think about this for a while because secure trade, I see it. It's sort of like right now you sell person to person to avoid the one outcome of that is you avoid the GTN tax. But it
Mhm.
is weird for it to be a credit sink. I had to wrap I mean, for it to cost credits, I had to kind of wrap my mind around that.
I think they wanted
And
just it
go
is
ahead.
hard, but I think they wanted a more consistent calculation to say anytime stuff changes, credits change hands.
Right. And they right.
Because there
And
was this
they
whole secondary economy, which there's also a bit in here, I think, that addresses that secondary economy.
yes, there is. Yeah. In fact, I think everything he said was pretty interesting. It made me think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it did. Uh, and one of the things, so this is in here, or we'll come back to that in a second. Um, about what they're doing to the other GTN changes. But one of the things, the first bullet on this slide, credit economy initiative going forward. This is some of their sort of objectives. Credits should be a primary driver of our in-game economy. I think that bullet, if you read between the lines on what that is saying, is there is a secondary economy that has sprouted up, which is hypercrates.
Mhm.
People are using hypercrates as currency because of such amount of inflation, and people don't want to be like passing around 10 billion credits. There are very high-end traders who are using hypercrates as currency and saying, well, if you want, like, there's like the guilds that will carry you through master mode, uh, Dread Palace, so that you
And
can get the wings
it's
of the
really not
architect.
even it's not even only that anymore. If you spend any time on the fleet and listen to General, you'll hear people advertising that they're selling something for 4 hypers
Right.
or 3 hypers or 7 hypers.
So that first bullet addresses that. Credits. Credits should be the primary driver of the in-game economy. And this also speaks directly to the speculation and the what we've had, people chat about in the various streams and other places of, well, BioWare doesn't care if hypercrates are their currency because that just makes people have to pay more real money. And here they're saying no, that's not what we're trying to do. In fact, we're going to try to rein that in. So they're really trying to balance. They're trying to bring the ecosystem back into the game. They're trying to get rid of those secondary sets of currency, and then they can balance more effectively around that. So that makes sense to me.
Well, yes, but yeah. And I think what they're doing is they're for one of the things they're doing is they're increasing the number of credits that can be used. That's part of this attack, and that doesn't address at all people that buy hypercrates and then sell them for credits.
No, no, I guess it doesn't. I think
I mean, it won't cut down on people using the cartel market is what I'm
no, no, right. It won't cut down on people using the cartel market if they convert it to credits and then they use credits in the game, and credits again
right.
become the regular currency, and using hypercrates as the secondary currency. So
And
that's true.
I think another I mean, maybe we're gonna touch on this in a minute, but they're talking about putting market info in the reworked GTN, and that's also
Yeah,
gonna be provide more transparency to people buying things. And because when you buy something for hypercrates, it's not transparent at all.
right. You have no
Because
idea.
and if you're selling something for hypercrates, it's also you don't know what you're getting really.
Right.
But I mean, the people who sell for hypercrates, they don't open those hypercrates. They just use them for money. But yeah,
So this is what you just alluded to, which I knew you had some some thoughts on. We're saying during the live stream, this looked sort of interesting. The
yeah.
GTN, the Galactic Trade Network overhaul. Um, I wouldn't expect, reining in the expectations. I don't think it's going to be like super dramatic, but there were a couple extra things in here that you went further than I thought they would do, which was as you said, like the market data. Um, if they implement the market data, um, I think, and buy orders, commodity market with buy orders, that is a change and that is interesting. So
And this right here, market data and the buy orders, that anything that allows people to avail themselves of information so that they can make better judgment calls is going to impact the billionaires or the people who sort of run the GTN right now.
right,
So this is part of what people are asking for when they complain that the economy stuff isn't addressing this
Right.
because the economy stuff isn't meant for that. But this is will start to address something to make things more available. And also, if you're a new player and you need to buy 2 of something and it's just there in stacks of 1,000,
Yeah.
that keeps you from buying it too.
Right.
So
Right.
now you'll be able to buy your 2.
Uh, and then across all of that, there will be a slightly different progressive tax scale, which will be interesting.
I think, by the way, I think it's going to be a dramatic change. You
Maybe
said you didn't think it'd be that dramatic. I think it's going to be very dramatic.
I I I I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think it's going to be like an extra tab or two that they add to the existing GTN and a search box, a market data tab and a buy order tab. Um, is what I'm envisioning. F- to think that they're going to like do a whole like UI, implement a whole new like back end and the data structures and user interface redesign for the GT. Maybe they
I
did say
think
this would be potentially be rolling out over multiple updates though
I
too.
think
So
it will be because I think one of the reasons why it's taken so long to happen is because the back end stuff doesn't support stuff like this.
maybe. So we'll
Yes,
see.
maybe. It's just speculation on my part. To be
Um,
clear.
I mean, the first two bullets in particular, increased usability and make finding what you want easier. That speaks to reorganization of the user interface to some degree. So
Mhm.
yeah, like
It's
search
already,
that
I think,
works.
pretty easy to find what you want. The only times
Some
it's
stuff is
hard is
hard.
yeah, like
Like
if you
black dye, you cannot find.
yeah, because it shows you every black dye,
Right. Right.
every dye that has black in it. I was gonna say the same thing about if you're looking for major experience boost because you get every
Every boost of
type of
yeah.
every type of experience boost.
They do need the adjustments to the buyout price limit because you can't go more than 1 billion right now, and there are things that
I'm
people
kind of
want to
curious to
spend for
see,
more.
yeah, what that's yeah, because adjustments to the buyout price limit makes it sound like instead of 1 billion, it'll be like 1.5 billion. I mean, it
Well,
should say
they can't go.
blowing out the buyout price limit.
They It would be a real stretch to go over 4 billion because 16-bit signed
Mhm.
integer,
Mhm.
right? So,
Mhm.
um, the progressive tax scale will be interesting too. I'm interested to see how people try to work around that, especially when you're trying to buy a stack of commodities. Gonna have to see how that kind of works. If I need 10 OEMs to make my augments, if the taxes are a lot less to buy them one at a time because it's a progressive tax, is everybody going to be putting everything up
So the way I
for
read
one?
that is the beg- it's a progressive tax scale based on the unit price.
Okay, that
I mean, it doesn't say
that
that, but
no,
that's
that
the way I
you're
read it.
right. Actually, I think they did allude to unit price even being adjusted for a lot of like unit price and vendor price being adjusted to make some of this stuff work. I think he did mention that in some of the other pieces as well. So that would make sense. All right. And then just close to wrapping it up because we've got a couple designers that we met that we're doing some amazing work. Sneak peek of cartel market items. There's the Obi-Wan inspired blaster that's coming to the cartel market, and the Cassian Andor inspired blaster that's coming to the cartel market. Um, cool looking art and renders, cool looking designs, textures, some really amazing stuff. And we know some of the we know the designer now who's making that. And in addition, we'll go back to Narshada in just a second, but one of the things that are what was his name? I keep glossing over it. Chat room, remind us of the name of the designer we saw in the last stream who's doing such awesome work. Give me his name because what he did is he made for Jackie the May the 4th droid that we got, the little green box, he 3D printed a version of that for Jackie. And like a little 3-inch by 3-inch live version, super detailed and painted version of it, that Jackie held up and showed on the stream. That is super, super cool. And here I tried to zoom in. This isn't going to come out very well, but I tried to zoom in because I didn't have a high res picture of it. But you could see he like mounted
Yeah,
it on
it's
a little
very
stand,
cool.
and like painted it and put the little eye thing up there and it's sticking out of the top. I want this. I want this stuff, or just give me the pattern and I'll buy a 3D printer and print it myself. But excellent, excellent stuff. Really cool that he's continues to do that kind of thing just for fun on the side. That's a real artist who's doing that. He just put it on Jackie's desk and said, "Here, made this." It's cool. And then we also heard Narshada, Nightlife is coming back. It is not still going on. It will be going on. July 11th, it will be starting and it will be running for 6 weeks. And Zen told me I should write down the end date. And I said, nah,
Bradley Lewis,
I'll
Intisar
remember.
comes
Bradley.
through.
Bradley Lewis. Thank you, Intisar. But yeah, so Nightlife is coming back. There's a new mount, which does look pretty cool. It's the High Roller Skiff. It's one of those kind of lounge around, get served refreshments, but not the bigger boat style. It's like a more streamlined version of it, which looks pretty cool. I haven't heard if there's going to be another companion this round. I'm missing a couple of the companions. So I think I can start buying some of the companions that I wasn't able to get in previous nightlife events. So I should just do that. Because there's like the Pigman, I think. I don't think I got the Pigman. I think I got the No, I didn't. I don't think I even have the Rhodian. I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't talk about it. And when you get all of the fun things and I don't tell me.
I should get the Rhodian companion for Rhodian Mayo.
Right, you should. And you can make mayo out of them.
No.
Community update.
No.
Jackie mentioned there will be a new community mount. So the Opal Volptilla was sort of like the reserved high-end community mount, and then they added that to a couple of the events for the PTS, and it's sort of on the back burner now. If you didn't participate in those two PTS, it sounds like it's going to be on the back burner for a little while. Maybe it'll come back at some point in the future. What they will be adding in, which Jackie alluded to, is a new community mount, is something that they will be implementing, and there might be some community content creators that might get a couple codes for them and might be able to give them away. So stay tuned for that. We'll see how that goes. And that was pretty much wrapped it up. So, 50% off collection sale. That's a bullet on this slide. Did they say when that's coming? That's not.
Well, it sounds like
Is it now?
it makes that looks like it. I missed it if it was starting already.
Yeah, I missed that. It says I just saw that bullet on the slide. I was making puns in the Twitch chat a lot, so I don't know if I missed it. Do I have something I could unlock here? Yeah, 50% off on Cartel
sweet.
unlocks. 5 credits. Purchase this unlock for all the characters on your account. The Star Clips Blaster. Yes, I will purchase for 5 credits. No, that's a little too much. That's a little too rich for my blood. Arthur's Exquisite Assault Cannon. You don't really need to unlock Arthur's stuff. Yes, you can. It's also 5 credits. But you get that on every character anyway. Because that's maybe there might be a situation where you don't get it. Like if you bought it off of the vendor and you didn't complete the season, the first galactic season, to get Arthur or Fenziel's equipment. You might want to unlock those for your collection. I should say what's collected. And I have stuff in bank tabs that I have not put into collections yet that I should put into collections. Like here, the HK-55's blaster, I've got that on every character. I don't really need to unlock it. But I should make sure I take things out of my take them out of my bank tabs, click on them because I've got stuff I got 10-year-old stuff. You know, I've
I do. I still have stuff in my yeah, item stash. Yeah.
so take that stuff out. Here's the opportunity to get it into your collection and then unlock it for everything for real cheap, for 50% off at least. So cool. Yep. So double XP, double Valor, May 4th to May 18th, 50% off collection sale. Lots Sahar is the code. Get that done before May 18th. Log into the game between now and May 18th, and you get the BX23 cube, green cube. Make a green outfit, a groutfit to go with it. Celebrate May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. This is the May. And that's about it. PTS should be up soon. They did say that as well. They were going to try to get it up by the end of the week. It is not up as of the time we are recording this on Thursday night. I did check right before the podcast, but hopefully it will be up soon and we'll be able to try things out and maybe even get into the Flashpoint. You never get to see the story stuff, but hopefully we'll be able to get into the Flashpoint and see the new Voss area. I'm excited to see that. We'll show it here next week, probably. So next week on the podcast, if we can get in there, we'll get in there live and we'll explore it and we'll talk about, we'll give you a hot take on what we think about what's going on. Anything else before we wrap up, Seema?
No, just want to say it was a great moment that chat room was talking about now when Jackie scared Eric with her fan.
Yes. Oh, do I still have the video up? Because she was talking about Rivix being her boyfriend. And when she whipped out her fan to fan herself because she was so hot and bothered by Darth
Yes.
Rivix.
Yes.
When did she do that? She like did a magic trick and like summoned the fan.
Right.
Was it towards
Which
the end?
she did it with such, precise precision. It makes me feel like she must just carry a fan with her all the time.
I've seen her with that fan
Yes,
before.
I have too. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I don't know exactly when she did it, but she snapped that fan open and fanned herself when she got, because Darth Rivix got her all excited. That was a cool move. And Eric like jumped out of his chair. He's gonna have nightmares over that. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but look for that. That was a fun moment as well. Fun stream. They had fun, and it was fun watching them have fun. So I like that, and they need to keep up that energy because it is super cool.
I didn't think they could top, and I'm not saying that topping or not topping, but back when they did the live stream that had the voice actors,
Yeah, true.
but I like this style of live stream as much, I think.
Yes,
I feel like it's just so comforting to have it run smoothly and you just feel like you're in good hands, basically.
I mean, this is much more news we can
Business-like.
use. It's content.
Yeah,
It's
news we
it's
can
a dev
use.
it's a dev stream. The
Yeah.
voice actors, are fun to and interesting to hear about, but it's not dev
It's
content.
but I do think uh, I think when they had the voice actors, it was partially good because we in general weren't getting the news ones. So,
Right, right. So they needed something.
yeah.
Come on, Jackie. Wasn't it
It was
here?
towards the end. You were close at one point. Like if you see Eric leaning away from her with his hand over his face, that's right after.
Is this it? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, now she's showing off the little thing. I don't know. You'll have to seek and find it. We need to wrap it up.
Yes, we do.
So
Yes.
that was an exciting moment. Great stream overall. Thank you very much, Bioware. Good to hear. Looking forward to the next one and looking forward to seeing it on the PTS. And we will see all of you on the PTS this coming week.
Yes, we will. Later, everyone.
So with that, well, not yet. Roll that back in.
What? What?
Slow your roll, Seema.
Soon.
We gotta do the whole. With that, we take EPC 4466 droid to broadcast this episode. All of the described links are newoverlords.com. You guys know where they are. YouTube/New Overlords. You can go there. You can also come chat with us in our Discord at newoverlords.com/Discord. You can follow for updates on Twitter at Max the Gray and our channel notes at the New Overlords. And we'll keep you up to date there too. For AIE Guild information, you guys know this as well. Starforge is our server. You can check out our guild and get the link to our Discord on aie-guild.org. Jump in there, jump in our Discord, go to the SWTOR section. We've got channels. You can ask for an invite. We would love to have you. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care, everyone.